Hey there, theorists! Have you ever played a game on mute? It's like watching a movie with your eyes closed. Boring! Sound effects are the secret sauce of video games. They pull us into the game world and make us feel like we're really there. From the pew-pews of lasers to the epic soundtracks, sound effects make all the difference. Today, we're going on an adventure through the history of video game sound, from those early blips and bloops to the mind-blowing audio landscapes we experience today. So grab your headphones, turn up the volume, and get ready to dive in. Our journey begins in the arcades of the 1970s. Remember those chunky machines with joysticks and glowing screens? Games like Pong, Space Invaders, and Pac-Man were all the rage. Back then, sound effects were basic, but they did the trick. Pong used simple beeps to simulate the ball bouncing. Space Invaders used those iconic descending sounds to build tension. And who could forget the Waka Waka of Pac-Man gobbling up those dots? These early sound effects might seem primitive now, but they were revolutionary for their time. They proved that even the simplest sounds could enhance the gameplay experience and create a more immersive world. These early games were like the pioneers of video game audio, paving the way for the sonic masterpieces we enjoy today. They may not have had fancy graphics or complex storylines, but they captivated a generation with their addictive gameplay and, yes, those catchy sound effects. Now, let's crank up the volume and travel to the era of 8-bit. The 1980s brought about the golden age of arcade games and the rise of home consoles. The Atari and the Nintendo Entertainment System, or NES, became household names, and with them came a new wave of iconic sound effects. We're talking about the era of 8-bit music and sound. Games like Super Mario Bros., The Legend of Zelda, Donkey Kong, and Metroid featured catchier tunes and more diverse sound effects. Remember the coin sound in Super Mario Bros. Or the iconic theme song from The Legend of Zelda? These sounds weren't just memorable, they were part of what made these games so great. They gave each character and environment a unique personality. The 8-bit era pushed the boundaries of what was possible with sound. Composers and sound designers were becoming rock stars in their own right, creating memorable tunes and sound effects with limited technology. These sounds weren't just blips and bloops anymore, they were becoming true 8-bit symphonies. Hold on to your hats, theorists, because the 1990s brought a sonic boom to the gaming world. The introduction of 16-bit consoles like the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis meant more powerful hardware. This meant better graphics, yes, but also a massive leap forward in sound design. Games were no longer limited to those chiptune melodies. We had real instruments, orchestral scores, and digitized voices. Games like Street Fighter II, Mortal Kombat, and Sonic the Hedgehog used these new capabilities to deliver a much richer audio experience. But the real revolution came with the arrival of CD-ROM technology. This meant games could hold way more data, which opened up a whole new world of audio possibilities. No longer limited by cartridge space, developers could include full soundtracks, voice acting, and realistic sound effects. Games like Final Fantasy VII with its epic orchestral score, and Resident Evil with its terrifying ambient sounds, set a new standard for audio in gaming. This was the era when sound truly became an integral part of storytelling in video games, adding layers of emotion and immersion that were simply impossible before. Fast forward to today, and video game audio is more immersive and realistic than ever. We've got advanced techniques like Dolby Atmos and 3D spatial audio, which make you feel like you're right in the heart of the action. Games like The Last of Us Part 2, Red Dead Redemption 2, and Ghost of Tsushima use sound to create incredibly believable and atmospheric worlds. Whether it's the subtle creaking of floorboards in a haunted house or the roar of a T-Rex chasing you through a jungle, sound plays a crucial role in making these worlds come alive. So there you have it. From humble beeps to breathtaking soundscapes, the evolution of sound effects in video games has been an incredible journey. And it's far from over. As technology continues to evolve, who knows what amazing audio experiences await us in the future of gaming. But that's just a theory. A game theory. Thanks for listening.